There is some incredible VFX you can do with a green screen. If it's 3D animation or 2D compositing, there's great things you can do with a green screen. But now the question, can you also do great effects without a green screen? The short answer, yes. The long answer, yes. Just kidding, that's not the long answer. The long answer is there is pros and cons to using a green screen or not using a green screen. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through what you should do, when you should do that, and why. Let's go. I am mostly known for those green screen before after effect videos like this, where I use a green screen and then I make a cool environment and put the green screen characters in it. And it is a lot of fun making those, but you know, sometimes I cannot use a green screen for several reasons. And I get this question a lot. How does it work to use people without a green screen and how to put them into a 3D environment or at least replace the background? And how to do that, I'll get to in a second. But first, let's talk about pros and cons using a green screen or not using a green screen. The biggest pro for using a green screen is that it's easy, or at least easier, to replace the background, cut your subject out, put it on a different background. And with a green screen, it's almost a one-click solution. Sometimes it's not. When there's wrinkles and shadows on the green screen, it's not a one-click solution, but it's still easier, and that's definitely a pro for the green screen. If you're not using a green screen, you have to do that manually. You have to cut out your subject, the edges of your subject, more or less frame by frame. The softwares, they got pretty good at this, so they kind of have an idea of what you want to key out depending on your background. But again, there is many different tips and tricks on how to do that. If you are interested in me walking you through the process on how to do that, just like the video. Don't even comment anything, just like the video. If this video gets more than 200 likes, I'm gonna make a tutorial just on that. And this rotoscope process, that's what it's called, rotoscoping, can be very tedious. Sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's slower. And a little tip for that is, even if you're not using a green screen, try to use a background behind your subject which is somewhat even and does not have the colors of your subject. So for example, if I was in front of a blue wall right now, I would be pretty hard to key out or to rotoscope because I have a blue shirt. Now, a big pro for not using a green screen is you are very free and flexible in your camera movement and your character movement. In a green screen, you're always somewhat limited, unless you have like a 360 green screen, which is huge. If you're not shooting in a green screen, you have as much space as you need, depending on where you go. But let's say you are on a soccer field, you have all the space in the world, then you are very free and flexible in your camera movement. The characters can go wherever they want. It's easier to track your footage because you just have so much more material, so much more data you can track for your CG camera afterwards. And even if it's a tripod shot, even then you just can go further out and have more space where the actors can walk around. So that's a big pro for not using a green screen. A big pro for using a green screen though is most of the time you have full control over the lighting. You can set up the lights the way you want because you mostly have a green screen studio inside somewhere, so you don't have daylight from outside which messes with your lighting. Stupid daylight, am I right? So you have full control. You can set up your lights the way you want. So in your 3D scene or in your compositing, you can set up the background with the same lighting. You have full control. When you shoot it without a green screen, let's say somewhere outside, your lighting depends on the weather conditions. If it's overcast, it's overcast. There's nothing you can do about it. If the sun is out, then the sun is out. So yeah, that's a big problem. If you shoot without a green screen outside, you don't have any control over the lighting. But there can be also a good thing. In a green screen, unless you have the necessary equipment, it's very hard to simulate certain lighting conditions. For example, sunlight, direct sunlight, it just feels different outside than if you shoot it in a green screen with a spotlight. Because sunlight is parallel light. Everybody who does Blender understands that. There's parallel light and there's spotlights. It's different, so the sunlight is technically it's a big point light, but we're not technical here. So sunlight is parallel, and it's very hard to simulate that in a green screen unless you have a big ass spotlight very far away. Then you can simulate that. In my little shitty green screen in my garage, I cannot do that. So if I wanted to shoot with sunlight in my Blender scene, then it would be better to actually shoot it outside, either with a portable green screen, which handicaps you even more because it has to be portable, has to be like small enough you can carry it, but big enough to get your actors in front of it. But you understand the issue here. Same with overcast. Overcast, it's a little easier to get right in a green screen, but still the scene you saw in the beginning of the guys fighting on the train, I shot it in overcast outside without a green screen. And yes, in a perfect world, I would have shot this in a big ass green screen studio, which I didn't have because I just shot it at a stunt training. So I decided I'm going to rotoscope it in post and put it into an environment. And then I also was limited to the lighting. I couldn't really change the lighting conditions. So I had to do a overcast lighting setup in Blender. So those are just a few of the pros and cons I encounter. So how can this be helpful for you? Every time when you decide I want to make a VFX shot and I need people in it, just ask yourself, how are my lighting conditions in my final result in my CG scene? Can I simulate the same lighting conditions in my green screen studio or not? Do I have to do it outside? And am I going to be able to rotoscope that? And is it worth the time to rotoscope that over living with the limitations of a green screen? So those are the kind of questions you have to ask yourself and answer for yourself, because it's different for every scene individually. So there is no one size fits all. You have to make this decision every single time you shoot footage and you want to add VFX to it. Do you have any thoughts about that? Do you prefer shooting in a green screen and just key it out with one click? Or do you most often shoot your content outside and rotoscope it? And what is your favorite software to rotoscope? Because there's many different ones. The two ones I use, it's the Magic Mask in DaVinci and the rotoscope or the rotobrush in After Effects. Those are the two ones I'm using. What are you using for that? And what do you think is the best? Because I would love to make a video about the best rotoscoping tools out there. So I'm doing a little bit of research, and those are the two big ones I use all the time. I know there is plenty of AI software on the internet now which can rotoscope. Haven't tried it myself yet because when it comes to AI, I'm careful. I don't really want to get involved with the devil's business, but you know, we'll see. This year is not about me, it's about you guys, so I want to figure out what's the best solution for everyone. So let me know your thoughts about that. If you have any questions about any of that, please let me know in the comments below. And again, like the video if you are interested in a deeper tutorial on rotoscope and how I made this particular scene. This one was a lot of fun. Big shout out to Sean, Mustafa, Daniel, and Alex, who were part of this little scene. It was a lot of fun to shoot it. It took like 10 seconds to shoot it, but they were very excited to be part of it. This one was very successful. Who would have thought? But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below, and see you in the next video. Toodaloo.